Hi everybody. Oh my goodness, I missed you so much. It's Miss Blankenship here. What a crazy time. I have missed you very, very much seeing you in the classroom, but I'm glad to see you here, my fellow artist. And today we're gonna do a really easy, fun little Christmassy project. We're gonna make a Christmas wreath. So all you need to do, and you know there's no mistakes in art. Let me hear you. There are no mistakes in art. That's right. We can kind of make different, if you only have a certain type of paper or if you only have a certain type of marker, that's totally okay. It doesn't matter. You can make all the accommodations you need to, but we'll paint together. And what I have is a piece of watercolor paper, which you know Miss Blankenship loves because it works with lots of different mediums. What's a medium? That's right, a medium is one of your artist tools. And we have some markers. I got some green and red and black, and then a couple paintbrushes and watercolor, okay? So all we're gonna do, oh, and here's an extra thing. Since we're gonna make a wreath and it's round, we can use something from our kitchen, like a Tupperware lid or a bowl, anything like that. So I'm gonna make a bowl, or use a bowl because it's really easy that way. And so what I do is I take my pencil, flip my bowl over, and I just make a circle all the way around that bowl. Now, if you don't want to use a bowl or any sort of lid, that's cool too, because it's kind of fun not to have a perfect circle. But if you want to, there it is. Can you see that? All right, good. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your circle right here, and right starting up at the top, you're just gonna make all these little rainbow shapes. And it just goes out and in, out and in, out and in, out and in, out and in. And your shapes can be round at the top or they can be pointy. And you just come around, and right at the very top, you leave a little space. You leave a little space, see? And then now what we're gonna do is we're going to draw on the inside of this circle line, okay? So starting right up at the top here, you're gonna start again, and this time you're gonna go on the inside and in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and up to the top. So you've got something that looks like that. All right. So after that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your eraser and you're gonna erase that little center line, that circle line that we did. You're gonna erase it. It's always fun to erase. So you're gonna erase that. And you can just brush that right off. There you go. Okay, all right, so now that you've done that, we are going to put a bow up there at the top, right there where we left that space open. So your bow can be any sort of shape that you want, okay? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a circle, and then I'm gonna make two big looking ear type things for a bow. Circle, and then two big ears. And then on the bottom of that circle, right here, we're just gonna make little tails, little ribbon tails, just like that, okay? All right, now what I'm gonna do is, you know how awesome it is, always makes your art look good when you outline with the Sharpie. So I'm gonna outline with the Sharpie because that'll show you what I'm doing and make it a little easier to follow the line, okay? All right. So I'm just following my pencil line. Oh my goodness, I've missed y'all so much. This is just not the same, is it? All right, so I'm gonna follow my pencil line all the way around. And then on the inside. All right. And so then what I'm going to do is, you know, on a wreath, I know it looks kind of like a crazy little wreath, but it's going to come together. All right, so you know how there's those little berries you sometimes see on a wreath? Those little red pretty berries. So I'm just going to make little berries all the way around. Just like that. All the way around. Good job. Good job. See, it's coming together. Okay, so now what I want to do is, I like the idea of using mixed mediums. So I'm going to do my watercolor, but I'm also going to do my marker. So I'm going to take my marker and fill in those red berries. Just like that. Starting to look Christmassy. All right, filling it in. So how are y'all doing? Is everybody making the most of their time off? Hopefully you've been with your family. All right, there you go. Okay, so there's our little red berries. And let's see. I think I want to do a red ribbon too. All right, so I'm going to make my ribbon red, and I'm going to color it in. And don't forget, you can erase your pencil line. That's no big deal if you didn't follow it exactly. It's easy to erase when you have that Sharpie down. All right. So I erased some of my pencil line. There you go. All right, and so I'm going to color in my red ribbon. Good job. Okay, so now I've got a pretty wreath with the red ribbon, and now I want to watercolor. Okay, so what I think is going to make it extra cool, and I think I want to do it this way. And you know that's about being an artist. You kind of go with the flow, right? Like you might change your mind mid-art. I want to put some little wreath spruces with my marker because I'm going to watercolor over that. So do you see that? So I'm going to just make little spruce tree marks, and they go both directions, right? So you just do a little line and then lines off to the side. Do you see? Like that. So go all the way around. Are you doing it with me? Good job. Everybody say, I am an artist. Good job. All right. making my little spruce brushes, the last bit of them. All right, now I'm gonna go to my watercolor. Okay, so I've got, it's looking like that, and now I'm gonna go to my watercolor. So I wanna use two different colors. I'm gonna use a dark green, and I'm gonna kind of make these little spruce marks over the top of where I did my marker. And it doesn't matter, whatever you can do, you know, we're just hanging out, drawing together. No stress, no comparison to your neighbor, just doing your own thing. All right, so it's coming together. All right, now I'm gonna get the lighter color, the lighter green, and fill in the spots. And this time I'm gonna kind of dab like this. So I'm gonna kind of dab it. And make it go all around our little berries. Good job. And having those two different colors, as well as those two different mediums, so the dark green and the light green, and then the watercolor and the marker, the two different mediums, it just makes it more interesting to look at. Because nothing in nature is one solid color, right? When you go outside and you look at the grass or the trees, or even the fallen leaves that are brown, they're not one solid color brown, right? They're all different colors of brown, different shades of green. And that's part of what makes it so interesting. And when you kind of dab your watercolor brush, it gives it an interesting texture instead of just filling it in flat. Okay, we're almost there. And this can be like, you could cut this out. You could even put your picture in the middle of it and hang it on the doorknob or the door. Or my goodness, you could even hang it on the Christmas tree. If you get a little hole puncher and put it in the center of your ribbon, you could cut it out and make an ornament. Okay, awesome. So, you know, I always love to like fill it in. And so I want to fill in the background to make my whole painting full of art. My whole page. And so I chose purple, and I'm going to dab a little water in it and pull that color out and make it a little bit lighter. But you don't have to do this. You don't have to fill it in if you don't want to. Like I said, you could put your picture in it. You could put your dog's picture in it. Doesn't matter. It's just nice to do some Christmassy art. Okay, so I'm filling in that purple, and I think I want to fill it in with blue on the outside. You could use your own colors that you want. And remember, watercolor, as long as you have enough water in that color on your page, you can pull that color down and make it lighter, or you could leave the color where it is and make it darker. That's one of my favorite things about watercolor is that you can smear it around and change the shade. And the shade is another word for value, which is another word for how dark something or how light something is. You see that? So you see how right here, it's much darker if I kept it thick like that. But then if I added a little bit of water on my brush, I could pull it down like this and I start to get lighter and lighter and lighter. And so my shade or my value is lighter, 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 lighter. See, I pull it down and I haven't even gone back and touched the paint, gotten more watercolor paint. Look, all I've done is taken it and just pull the color down and I've still got color on my paintbrush. Now I'm starting to almost get it light, 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 light. And see how neat that is? How you've got different shades and value, darker to lighter here. All right, so I'm almost done. But one thing I love to do, and you know this, at the end, always do your artist signature. And we could have done this before we started the watercolor. But I'm going to put my initials, my artist signature with the year, good old 2020. And that way, and you got to do it in Sharpie, because that way it will, you can take your watercolor and go straight over it. See? Straight over it. All right, we're almost finished here, my beauties. All right, almost finished. Here you go, move your brush around pretty quickly, get it all smeared around. Like I said, it's kind of nice having those different shades of value of blue. I like that, how it's not all even. More interesting if it's not perfect. And there you go. All right, look at that. You have your Christmas wreath. I want to make a little darker purple in there. That's another thing. If you have like a little color that you don't want to see, like some of my green got onto my inside of my wreath, all you do is just take a little water, add a little different color, especially if it's a darker color, and you can just smear that right along. Change that color almost instantly. It's really easy. No mistakes in art. That's right. I heard somebody say it. Good job. Okay, here we go. Voila. Our little Christmas wreath. Okay, I'll see you soon, beauties. Mwah.